this is Crystal Marie with another episode, Fear Doesn't Go With My Outfit podcast. Thank you. Welcome. This is the quarantine series, and I'm so excited because we are all stuck in the house. We are all united through Facebook, Instagram. We're having house parties, visual house parties, and all this type of stuff. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I got to vibe with you guys through the podcast. I have some amazing people featured in the quarantine series. You guys saw the one yesterday, so make sure you are listening, subscribing, following, and commenting. Let me know what you think about the series. So next up, we have my girl Gina Gold, guys. This is going to be amazing. But first, a little housekeeping rules. You guys know where to find me, thecrystalmarie.com. You're able to access the podcast there, audio. YouTube channel, The Crystal Marie Brand. My YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to that to hear all the past and present podcasts that you guys have missed or want to hear again because they're just so dope. The t-shirt brand, you guys know where to order, bit.ly / Fear Doesn't Go In My Outfit. Make sure you're doing your t-shirt orders. This is kind of the work from home loungewear right now. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. We have the tank tops to work out in. I got my workout in this morning because my waistline is not loving this quarantine being in the house at all. So I got to get my workout in, you guys. But so go ahead and follow. Make sure you're following all the platforms. Thank you for tuning in. But this is our second edition of the quarantine series from the couch. As you can see, I'm on my couch. Fear Doesn't Go With My Outfit. And today's podcast title is Fear Doesn't Go With My Idea. This is going to hit home for a lot of you guys because, especially now, we're all sitting on these ideas. We have a lot more free time than usual. Are we writing in our journals? Are we implementing all the ideas that we have? Because now is the time to start, right? We don't have time, to sit. This is the time to kind of push those ideas out there because months later, you're going to see somebody is going to implement your idea and you're going to be mad. Okay? So listen to Gina Gold. We're going to get into it. Hey, girl. Hey.
I'm so happy to be here. You are just all kinds of adorable.
I love it. Adorable. Yes. So let's get into your story. What was your idea? Let's start there. Give me some background about yourself so the guests know who you are.
Okay, my name is Gina Gold, and the first thing that I want to talk about is that so I have all these creative ideas, but I also have a mom who is very, very fear-based. So her whole thing is, growing up, I remember going to the beach and it would be like, first of all, we got there at 4 p.m. So it's kind of late already. Now we're there with the 85 tons of food. And then I eat the food and then she says, you can't go in the water for an hour, which was until 5. But all I want to do is be at the shallow end with my pail and shovel. Like, what could possibly happen from eating?
Right.
But my mother was so fear-based that she was like, you can't do that. So growing up, it was like, you can't do this because this might happen. You can't, don't put your hand on the subway because the government, this is going to make her sound paranoid and schizophrenic, but she's not. It sounds a little close, but she was like, don't put your hand on the thing because you might get a germ.
But most of our families are like that, right? Because they're trying to protect us. But sometimes that protection turns into blockage, if that makes sense. Because now our mindset is, as we're growing up, our mindset is, oh, we can't do that. What if this happens? What if that happens? We're never taught really to take those risks. No matter if you fail. We're never taught that,
Yes. And it's frustrating because at the same time, my mom would always be like, get out there and be a winner, but don't go leave the house because you might get hit by a bus. So it's like this mixed message of succeed, but be really, really fear-based. And it's funny because she's always like calling me about some a plague, a flesh-eating bacteria, some sort of infection. Or I remember like when I had a dog walking business and she was like, you might get attacked by a bear. And I'm like, there's no bears in this area.
There's no bear.
You might get
attacked.
Like,
I walk dogs, not bears. Yeah.
Or I went to Florida and I was in a hotel and she's like, watch out for alligators. So when this virus hit, and she called in like December and she was like, there's a virus coming. And I was like, I'm putting my foot down. It's like, there's no virus coming, okay? You need to stop with this fear. You're talking about plagues, viruses. The virus isn't gonna come here, okay? Stop, don't call me anymore. And now look where we are.
And now you had some explaining to do, some calling back. Mom, I'm sorry. Right when I decide to stand up for myself, you're right. Yeah. So, okay, so let's get to the idea that you had kind of to implement. Okay, I don't want to say it. Go ahead.
Okay, just talking about the book, right?
Yes.
The book was my idea. I was back in the day when in my early 20s, I was working out a lot of stuff, and I got a job as a phone sex operator. And
wow. Ooh, okay. Guys, it's about to get real. I love it. Go ahead.
Okay, because I was so fear-based about my sexuality and expressing myself.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and I was telemarketing, and one day the lady was like, for the Berkeley Repertory Theater, and the manager one day was like, you guys aren't making any sales. You need to flirt on the phones more. And then this woman next to me was like, well, if I was going to flirt on the phone, I'd be doing phone sex. And I thought, well, I'm going to do that. Even though it didn't, looking back, I was like, what? But at the time, I was trying to figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. I knew that I was stuck. I knew that I was in fear. I knew that I was like repressed. I knew that I was just keeping myself small. And I thought, what can I do to make myself bigger? And
so that was kind of you coming out of your shell a little bit, but not too out there. You know what I mean?
Out there.
Yeah. But you kind of coming out of your shell a little bit.
Yeah,
I got it.
It was stop it, make it stop. I'm so sorry. This is terrible.
As we real on here, okay? It's the quarantine series. Anything can happen. Now.
And I have ADD, so I don't know how to make it stop ringing on the computer. I don't have the skills.
Girl, it is fine. It is fine. So let's get back to this. So, okay, so how long were you doing that?
So I did that for a few months, and then from there, someone said, hey, so then that was like the most abusive, ridiculous situation. We were supposed to be like these white California blondes, and all of us that worked there were Black. Everybody. And nobody was even trying to sound like a California blonde, like at all. People were just not even trying. They'd be like, yeah, I got blonde hair and I got blue eye, like, and the men were like, sounds good. So it was just like the most abusive situation. And so then someone was like, screw this. I know of a feminist strip club.
Okay.
Lady. And I was like, a feminist strip club? Isn't that like an oxymoron? What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. So, but then I was like, I've already jumped in. I'm tired of living in fear. I'm afraid of everything. So I'm just going to explore it. And you know what? Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but I was trying to not be afraid for once. I was like, mm-hmm. I'm not going to be afraid. I was trying to do something to get me out of fear.
Yeah.
Because I was so fear-based. So do this.
So tell me a little bit about, how was because it was a feminist theme. So how was that kind of different, or was it different?
It was different. It was different and the same. So It was different in that it was a peep show. So you had no clothes on and you were behind glass.
Right.
And the men put quarters in it and then the window would go up. And it was feminist in the sense that at that time they were hiring women of all different body types, races, and also they weren't allowed to direct the show. So if, the guy was like, you do what you want to do. And if the guy said, hey, turn around, then you were allowed to say, no, you have an option of watching or you can leave.
Right.
So
Right.
it was feminist in that way because other clubs weren't doing that. It was just
because
like,
you guys made the rules per se. You guys
yes,
made the rules. You could pretty much do what you wanted to do.
yes.
So what age were you then, and how long did you stay there?
I was 24 and I did it for 5 years.
Wow. Wow. And where were you based at? What city
San
and state were you in?
Francisco. This was the Lusty Lady in San Francisco.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you were in Cali, and then
Yes.
okay. So moving
From
on.
New York, but I had moved to California in an effort to get out of my fear. I pulled a geographic and I got on a bus for $69 and came out west. So here I am trying to make it, struggling.
Wow.
I'm just
So
gonna do
this is 24. You were doing that for 5 years, and then what made you leave, and what was the next step after that?
So what happens is once I sort of went down that rabbit hole, a couple of things happened. One was it didn't stay that way. So it didn't stay very feminist for long.
Right.
So management switches over. All of a sudden this new woman takes over and she's just like, there's too many girls of color on the stage. This can't be. There need, like 4 women of color, because there was always 5 women dancing nude at a time on the stage.
Right.
Like, no. We cannot have that anymore. So-and-so, you're a little chubby. So-and-so, one of your boobs is bigger than the other. So-and-so, you need to shave your armpits. So-and-so, you have gorilla crotch. You're out of here.
Wow. Wow. So she came in and just kind of killed the vibe, I'll say. She came in and kind of killed the vibe.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes, again, that could have been your blessing because maybe that season was over for you anyway.
Yes, it was. Yes,
and it was time to, kind of move into a different direction.
Yes. And so I was being pushed in a different direction. It's just that the way that it was done was abusive, because I was in my, maybe in my late 20s at that point, and I couldn't have been any more than 125 pounds.
Right.
And she pulled me in the office and she said, "You are fat. You need to lose 10 pounds right now. I'm not putting you back on the schedule until you do. You need to sign this paper saying that you agree to lose 10 pounds. And I really like that you have big boobs and I want you to keep those."
Wow.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Losing weight, and I will tell just my breast area.
Right, to stay there. Okay, craziness. This background story is amazing. So, I love it because it shows that, you are not your past, and your past prepared you for now. Yes. And certain things, no matter how bizarre or uncharacteristic it is for other people, you had to, that's your story. That was your journey. That was the only way that you could kind of do that to get here.
Yes.
So we're going to keep moving down the timeline. So you left there, and then what was next for you?
Well, unfortunately, I started lap dancing, and that was sort of like, that's when that's where I went. That step past my boundary too far. It's
too far.
It's like you go and it's like, because you're not seeing it anymore. It's like once you take one step, then it's like doing a drug, and then you're like,
yeah. But she was like, this was the wrong step in the wrong direction now.
So in the wrong direction. It's like if you're doing drugs, but you're keeping it light, and then you're like, well, I'm at this party, I might as well do
right.
So next thing you know, I'm doing the equivalent of crack for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh.
And now you're kind of teetering into that point of, we're using metaphors or whatever, but you like, I could potentially OD doing this.
Yes. You said
I can potentially OD doing this. Like I'm doing, at first it was recreational. Now it's getting to become a habit.
Yes.
And I could potentially, I got it. So how long did that last?
So the whole thing lasted about 5 or 6 years. So what I started doing is dodging in between. Like I would leave the Lusty Lady, and then I would go somewhere else. And then the other club, I'm working at a few clubs, and the other club, which was very like all about like looking white and blonde and as white as possible and as thin as possible. And they pulled me aside and they were like, "You're chubby." I was like, okay, wow. Okay, so it's like the walls are starting to close in.
Yeah. And that could have been the universe, God, whatever you want to say, to be like, if you don't like, bye, get out of here. I don't want you here. You don't need to be here. I don't want you here because your purpose is bigger.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So I wasn't, and it wasn't at that point. Sorry, I'm just telling people don't call me.
I love these Zoom calls because we're so like I'm professional, and I love it right now because we're quarantined. Like, you know.
I'm doing my best.
But I think the guests are gonna appreciate it. I think they're gonna appreciate it because I'm like, I'm so not being like, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm trying here.
So when that kind of hit the fan, where was your mind at? Like, did you feel like you were at rock bottom professionally? Did you feel like, how can I dig myself out this hole? Because this rabbit hole has gotten deeper, and I don't know if I can climb up. Where's the rope to help me get up there? And who has my back, friend wise or support system wise, and all of that?
Yes.
Because how was your friends? Like, did you have anyone you could trust during these times?
Yes, because the thing about I have my personal friends outside of the club, but the women were if I do not regret, if I could say that the one thing that I don't regret is being around those women. They were the most, so that brings, that in my book, there's superheroes, talk about superheroes, the most eclectic, interesting.
I love it.
I've ever met. Like, they're just, just like people of my own heart, like just, the way that I am, just spontaneous and kind of like, poor impulse control, just crazy.
And people that you learn different traits from.
Yes. I mean, even now I have a friend that I used to strip with, and I called her up recently and I was like, hey, I heard about this thing where we could go swim with the sharks. We're not going to be in a tank or anything, but this lady takes you out. And she was like, yeah, okay. Just let me know what the date. You know? Like,
So you still have relationships. I love that. So where did you get to where you are now? So when you hit that point where you're like, okay, I need to get out, what were the steps that you did? What happened?
I was feeling like, okay, I'm so in it, and I didn't feel like I had the skills to get out because I had gone to Boston University and flunked out basically. Just because I think I have a learning disability, but I think it was just the emotional trauma that I had suffered growing up that blew up in my face in college, and I just couldn't cope. So I felt like I flunked out of college. So I haven't finished my degree, and I have a lot of shame about that. I don't even like to talk about it. Even to this day, I cringe, but
we're working through it.
Working through it. And I'm just, trying to, I'm an honest person. So I have to keep it real and say that it really hurt me, and I had a lot of shame about that. So I was like, I'm not, because of my learning disability, I'm not good at jobs like waitressing or, cashier, or things that involve numbers or organization. So it's like, I'm stuck. That's just what I kept thinking, is I'm stuck. And then I thought, okay, I may be stuck, but I will die here because this is killing me. Like, this is killing me. So I can either, just be stuck and be destitute or whatever's going to happen to me, or I could just shoot myself in the eyeballs right now. Or just become a dope fiend for real, because I can't deal with this crap anymore. I'll tell you this brief thing. It's just a little thing, but it just shows you, like, I remember sitting down with this one guy, white guy, and he says to me, you're so beautiful, your skin, oh my God, it doesn't age like white women. And it's not gonna go well when he starts off like that. And then he says, how come black women's skin, ages differently? And I was like, well, people of color have more melanin. And he said, oh, you mean watermelanin? So I just couldn't take it anymore. You feel me? I couldn't take, I had to take my watermelanin and just leave.
Yeah, you said I got to go. It's like these meaningless conversations that I have to have with these people because they're paying me to, do this job, to entertain them, to whatever. But I feel like I'm more than this, whether I flunked out, whether, I can't process information like the normal, quote unquote, okay?
Exactly.
Normal people can't. I don't have that confidence where I can go after, the corporate jobs or whatever.
Right.
But I can't be here. I gotta go.
I can't be here. So if all I've got is watermelon, I guess it's gonna have to be that, because goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Yeah. And when I sat down with another guy and he said, do that African rain dance. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So now it was just like, again, the signs were there. God's throwing different things at you for you to get irritated, for you to recognize that I'm better than this. This was, it brought me to this point. I was able to pay what I had to pay and meet all these people. But the season is definitely over at this point.
Over. I was getting weird rashes that were telling me, I got a really weird rash.
Oh, wow.
And when I say a weird rash, I won't
Yeah.
But it's really weird.
But people have to understand why I'm reiterating this, because we all get these different signs. Like the rash was a sign, the comments the people were making was a sign. Certain things were a sign, things that you were hearing and seeing and being told about your weight and this and that. It was a sign.
Yes.
So, sometimes, we have to be, aware that certain things we have to pay attention to, or the universe or God talks to us in different ways, or to get our attention.
Exactly.
Because when he wants our attention, he's going to get it.
Exactly.
So thank God it wasn't a life or death situation, because sometimes he uses that to wake us up. Now he's not to blame, but he's like, I'm trying to get your attention.
Exactly. And you're not listening.
You're not listening. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, because when people talk about the virus now, and you see these videos where people are saying that the earth is trying to get your attention, look how bad we treat it. And, and now there's a virus. Well, I got a virus. It was some virus that causes a rash.
Got it. Yeah.
And that's what it was. Started here, took over my face. Wow. It was all over my face. It was all over every part of my body, because my body was like, we asked you to quit a year ago. We asked you to quit 2 years ago. We asked you to quit 3 years ago.
Yeah. And now, because you're so appearance-based,
how am I going to go to work with a rash? And this was no ordinary rash. Like the doctors, they were like, hey, Pete, come in here. Look at this. Like it was that.
Yeah. So let's get to the idea. Let's get to the book. Talk to me about the book.
So after I quit, I walked out one day. I just took a bow and I just left, and was taking all kinds of menial jobs. But what I did do was I started writing. I wrote everything down that I could think of, everything that happened to me. And then I was like, I went into intensive therapy. I was like, I'm going to link this to my childhood.
Let's say that again. You went into what?
Intensive therapy.
Thank you, people. Y'all know how I feel about sitting on somebody's couch. Therapy is amazing.
Yes.
Therapy. Go talk to somebody. I'm telling you, it will change your life.
Take that step.
It will change your life. So let's get into it. So, okay. So you started writing, and then the book came. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah. So at first it was very autobiographical, and it was just like, me. This is what happened to me. And, but there was something missing from it. And I think that's why it never really got published. Like there was something about it where, because it was me trying to work out my issues. Like, so, and which I think that looking back, like if I looked at the writer, you can see like, oh, this is someone who has not worked it all out. So I was trying to get it published, writing. And then one day it just got to be too much for me. And I gave up. I was like, because fear got the best of me. I was like, well, it's not getting published. It's never going to get published. I suck. I'll never get anywhere. Just forget it then. Whatever. And I let the fear that I wasn't going to make it, I let it stop me. And I put it down for many years. And then a couple of years ago, something channeled through me and told me to pick up my phone and go into the notes and to start recording. And I just started recording. I had no interest in writing sci-fi whatsoever at all. And the book, the whole stripping book, now all the characters and everything, it took a sci-fi turn. It became complete fiction. And those women now went from just being regular women to superheroes. And the protagonist, which was me, now is no longer me. It's the person that I wish I was back then, the person who is not fear-based. Because this woman, it's not that she doesn't feel fear, but she does it anyway. So it's like, you know, my friend read the book and she said, oh, is this how I feel so intimidated. And I was like, no, this is who.
This is my alter ego.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This is who I
fearless.
want to be. Yeah. Where can they find the book? Where can they find the book? Because I'm excited about this book. Where can I find it?
On Amazon, and it's called Emergence. I divided it into 3 parts. The first part is out. The whole series will be called Blue Ormus.
I love it.
The first part is called Emergence because she's emerging. She's emerging into her true self. She's starting to feel like her superpowers and her, you know, and at first she's afraid of it, but then she's like, I'm going to just go with this.
I love it. So the book is called, the first series is called what again?
Emergence.
Emergence. And it's on Amazon, guys. It is on Amazon. Because I dabbled a little bit. Stacy sent me the link, and I love the book. I loved it. So So guys, you have to read the book. It's so good. I love the fact that it was like superhero, like based, and how you just kind of took your past and you flipped it. Like you said, it's like the alter ego, and you kind of tapped into that shadow side of us, which a lot of us try to deny that part because we think like, oh, that's the bad part of us. And you know, the light side and the shadow side, it's a really good balance. So I like how you kind of flipped your journey, how you flipped kind of things that you've been through and you turned it into good things now. So that's what people need to say. Hey, I was fear-based all of these years, and I did things to try to get me out of that fear. Some not so smart, you know. However, I was able to say, you know what? I feel like I'm at rock bottom, but I'm going to pull myself out. I'm going to pull myself out. I'm going to pull you kept trying. You kept trying. And you left. Like, you were like, I got to go. I don't know what bills are going to get paid. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm not sure about that, but you left. And a story was birthed out of that. A whole book. You're an author. How awesome is that? Like a whole book was birthed out of this. Plus you have 2 more to go. So I'm excited about the series.
Thank you.
It kind of got me excited again for the next one. So again, guys, it's available on Amazon. The name of the book is Emergence. And guys, where can they follow you at?
On Instagram at ginagoldelox.
Ginagoldelox. I love it. So guys, we are wrapping up our episode for today. Guys, no matter where you feel like you're at, you have all these ideas. I know for me, I am a true Virgo at heart. So my mind is always going. I'm always writing. I always have something up here and I write it down. Fear Doesn't Go With My Outfit was an idea, and it turned into this whole brand for me. And I'm so glad that I did it. If I failed, so what? If it didn't, if I didn't get the exposure that I wanted, so what? But it's something that I tried, and it's something to add to our story, right?
Yes.
So, guys, whatever your past is, whatever you feel, whatever you were told since birth, to be careful of this, don't do that, don't take risks. Sometimes you have to bet on yourself. We take risks for other people, for our jobs, all the time. All the time. And they can get rid of us quick, fast, and in a hurry and not care. So start taking risks on yourselves, guys. So, guys, listen to this episode. I enjoyed you, Gina. This was amazing. This was amazing. I had a blast.
That was fun. Me too.
I had a blast. So, guys, Fear Doesn't Go With My Outfit podcast, another series, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.